One show that I really liked as a kid, and it almost felt like it disappeared into like a vortex or something, was a show called Whiz Kids. Got a really simple premise, but I felt like it really worked. It's about this kid in a group of friends, and the main kid in the group got given a load of computers by his dad. And that doesn't sound that impressive at first hand, but his dad worked for NASA. So all the computers were super high tech and could do all these really cool things. Most of them you couldn't really do in reality, but it was, as a kid, it was awesome. And these kids would go around helping the police and solving crimes and things. And then that show was on ITV, the first series. And I thought, oh yeah, I'll probably turn up again eventually. And after like about 10 years, 15 years, it was never on anything. It was never on DVD or VHS. And sometimes when you get these channels like ITV4 and Bravo that repeat old programmes, it was never on any of those things. And I was beginning to think I'd almost imagined it, until I was watching Eastbound and Down, which stars Danny McBride and is actually directed by David Gordon Green, the two people responsible for the new Halloween film. And I was watching an episode one day and Whiz Kids just popped up on it.
What are you watching on this TV set? This is programs.
So much funny stuff.
I've seen like this before. It's not funny.
You like magic?
No, not really. Why, you gonna try to make me disappear?
I don't know how.
I do. Start calling me Dad.
Somebody else does remember it and it exists. Do you remember it? When I was a youth, one show that had a big cult following, is that a mixed metaphor? Was Prisoner Cell Block H. Got people into watching late night TV, which is a big thumbs up from me. It was on about 2:30, 3:30 a.m. and of all the people I knew, friends and family, most of the people I knew stayed up to watch it.
Now, you're going to turn around and face me, or haven't you got the guts?
Oh, I thought I'd let you hit me from behind. It's more your style, isn't it?
Prisoner Cell Block H was a bit of a phenomenon when I was growing up. In my region, the broadcast region where I grew up, Central, one of the first people to actually show it. And so anybody else in like Anglia TV or Granada would always be, oh, what's happening in Prisoner, you know, because you're future man from the future. It was a good show. All great characters like B. Smith and Lizzie. Fun fact, Lizzie was in the very first Mad Max film. That was a show there that I was telling me niece and nephew about, Dan and Tilly. He said,
Uncle Dave, what's that?
I said, oh, it's Mr. Blobby. He said, oh, what does he do? And I said, well, he used to help this man named Old Edmonds put on a house party. It was a big programme that everybody in the UK loved, and it was dead popular. The show that wasn't popular was Box Office America. It was on early hours of the morning. And it was a really simple premise for a TV show. They would play little clips from the current top 10 in America. It would have obviously been the 90s. And one of my favourite presenters was a British guy named Robert Sachs. And they would play the first 5 clips, and then they would do this thing called the Hit-Bound Preview, where they would show a trailer for an upcoming movie. And the one that always resonated with me was the next Karate Kid. And the one part where Mr. Miyagi catches an arrow before it gets him in the chest blew my mind, and I couldn't just wait to show people. I was like, oh my God, can you believe there's another Karate Kid film coming out? Then you played the last 5 videos, and then they would say, like to round up the show, they would say, we'll leave you from the sights and sounds from, and then insert the name of a movie soundtrack here. And the one that I always remember was Osmosis Jones for some reason, a song called King of This City by Nowie, and it would play out like that. It was running for a long time. One of the last episodes I've got on tape is when Ghosts of Mars by John Carpenter came in at number 9 on the chart, but Box Office America.
And you haven't lived if you don't stick around for the rest of the countdown and our hit-bound preview.
One of my favourite TV shows as a kid was Chopper Squad, another Australian programme. This one was about helicopters, and I can really see, well, apart from Airwolf and Blue Thunder, where my interest in helicopters come from. Actually, here's a question for you. Which is better, aeroplanes or helicopters? But this show used to get me so excited when I'd see the intro starting, and it almost looked like something Quentin Tarantino would be a fan of. It's proper exploitation and that kind of 70s funk theme tune, about a group of helicopter pilots that would go around saving the day. And one episode that really sticks with me is when they had to rescue people from a Ferris wheel that was stuck. I thought it was so cool. They actually made toys for it, unbelievably. It must be some of the worst selling toys of all time, and who was a fan of my Twitter feed may recognise that's where I get my handle from. Ooh, I think I just saw Robin. It's a sign of a bad winter, isn't it? One show, it's up there, top, well, I guess it's the #1, right? One of my favourite ultimate all-time shows, Japanese show. In Japan it was called X-Bomber, over here it's called Starfleet, and it was almost a perfect show. It was puppets, science fiction, got an amazing theme tune, and it just worked on all these levels. And like how some shows have aged like kind of really terribly, this show still looks great even now. Like, and as much as I love things like Terrorhawks and Thunderbirds, the puppets in Starfleet work really well. They actually look like they're controlling the ships they're flying and the way they move their heads and things like that. It's like a really great show. But one part of the show that just worked was when there were all these individual ships, a bit like Voltron, and they all joined together to form this giant robot called DiX. It was a big giant robot, and it was almost like Godzilla. They would have fights and like punch things and punch mountains and stuff like that. Super cool. And two memories that I've got of it. One is an old memory, one is a new memory. But I remember there being a little video shop called TJ Video. It's now a hairdresser's called TJ Salon, at least a saloon. And I went in there and I said, is this anything to do with the old video shop? They were like, oh no. So I don't know what was going on there. But I remember renting Starfleet on VHS, and they actually had Betamax tapes in there as well. That's how long ago it was. But this was way after the fact. I found out that Brian May and Eddie Van Halen did a cover version of the Starfleet theme tune. Starfleet.
Say kids, what time is it?
Let's get that first comment on screen right now. Fly by. Ah, Mike Smith, the fan of the show. Great vid, walk down memory lane. You've been spoiling us in 2019. LOL. Well, thanks Mike for all the comments over the last few months and all the words of encouragement. And I know you're from this area, so go inside because it's cold outside and get some snapping. Let's get the second comment on screen. Here we go. Second comment, what can it be? Daniel G, which rhymes. This man will never run out of ideas. Thanks Danny, appreciate it. Press that nudge button, let's see what happens. Oh, the third comment, Ty Lloyd Stevenson. Oh, I'm enjoying your videos too. Oh, especially the Bond one where you had the tuxedo on, that was pretty cool. Awesome video, LOCH. Love the way your mind works. Also love your effects, transitions and camera work. Moonraker is the best. Can't fault anybody who loves a bit of Moonraker. One of the best Bond films. Pretty cool. And let's get one more comment in for good luck. Here we go. Leave a good pull. And let's see what that last comment says. It says it's by Staff Woodsman Pazzi. Yep, Staff Woodsman. Sometimes you drive past me. This comment will self-destruct after the pull of the lever. Do you accept, Mr. LOCH? Ah! That lever's being blown up. Oh god, keep it locked.
Thanks for watching The Legends of Cherry Hill. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and consider subscribing.